Sup. February 17th of 2021. We're moving into the final weeks of Future State, and we're looking at some great regular titles this week as well. So, I know what's on my radar. Let me give you a few of those books, that way you can think about what you need to have on your radar as well. We're in the final weeks of Future State, so as right now we're looking at all the like 2s and 3s of a lot of what's come out so far. So the first one on my list this week is Future State Catwoman number 2. I really enjoyed this first one. I thought it was a cool twist on kind of the heist genre. I guess like not even quite the heist genre, but it's like the action adventure side of things. It kind of reminds me of like Indiana Jones or Uncharted, but with Catwoman, and you're not really sure what side of things she's on. But there was a great reveal at the end of the first issue, so I'm excited to check out the second one and see what's going on. I believe this one is written by Ram V, who also wrote the Swamp Thing Future State title. He's writing a new Swamp Thing title for Infinite Frontier, and I think he's also been writing the Catwoman series that people have been speaking so highly of. So I really like what Ram V's been doing in the DC universe from what I know of him. And Catwoman Future State number 1 delivered on that. So I'm excited to see how he wraps things up with number 2. And kind of find out some more information about what's been going on with Bruce Wayne. I guess this is the same Bruce Wayne that we see in Dark Detective. So in Dark Detective, he is presumed dead. So maybe this is how that all went down. I'm interested to find out how this is connected to what we know about Bruce Wayne in the Future State right now. So that's Catwoman number 2. The next one I want to talk about is Immortal Wonder Woman number 2. Now, honestly, I don't think I've read the first one. I picked it up, but it came out on an awkward week. And I think Mark from Legion of Comics has told me a bit about it, and I've seen the solicit, so I have a pretty good idea about what it was, and because I'm so Future State heavy, I do want to make sure I pick up this one, because Wonder Woman, it sounds like, had a very interesting adventure through the multiverse, through the death metal stuff, so I'm interested to see what her role is in Future State, because I also really like Yara Flor, the new Wonder Woman. So I think it's also kind of key for me to get the perspective on like what Diana's role as Wonder Woman is, now that there's a new Wonder Woman in the world. Nightwing number 2, the first one I really liked. I thought it had some cool twists and a few cool surprises, and I really liked the way that they played Dick Grayson against the new Batman. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of like cool exchanges and dialogues there where like Dick Grayson is verifying that this is the Batman that he's heard about, so he's like verifying his identity, but he openly tells him like, I have 0% concern with who you are. Like, he doesn't even want to know who Batman's secret identity is, which is interesting because it feels kind of like he's grown into the Batman that he never wanted to be in a lot of ways. So I think I don't know, it was a really cool dialogue exchange. I like the way that we had this like veteran Batman character kind of checking the new Batman at the door and stuff, and so I'm excited to see what Nightwing number 2 does. It'll be cool to see them teamed up if that's where they're going with it, but we do know Dick Grayson's about to go to war, so I'm excited to see how this plays out. Shazam number 2 is it's going to be interesting because Billy Batson, like, we haven't seen a lot of him. I'm pretty sure the only place we've seen him in Future State is in Shazam number 1, and there he's kind of played for the bad guy, but we also know like there's all this crazy stuff going on for him. We see, you know, he's part of the Teen Titans when all the crazy stuff goes down with the Teen Titans in their book. We saw some stuff with Black Adam, so like the Shazam universe is there, but we really haven't seen a lot about exactly why Billy Batson is who he is in the Future State. So I'm interested to find out more through Shazam number 2 and see more of like what his role plays. Superman Worlds of War number 2. Honestly, the first one, it felt like it was just dragging. It was kind of boring in a lot of ways. And then right there at the end, it kind of sets up some promises that I hope it delivers on. And I'm excited to see what happens in Worlds of War number 2. I did hear, I believe it was on Capes on the Couch, the guy that wrote Worlds of War. He'll also be writing the new Superman series starting in March, I believe. Um, and he kind of talked a little bit about what he was doing with Worlds of War, and like it kind of got me inside the head of the character and the writer a little bit more. And so I am even more interested now that I've heard what he has to say, because he's kind of making his thesis statement on who Superman is. Like, the first one was kind of exploring who Superman is. The second book, he says, focuses on what Superman can do. And showing him, like, showing, kind of contrasting, like, the height of who he can be versus the height of who he is right now. And so I'm kind of interested to see how all that plays out. And then the next Batman number 4 is out this week. Is it 4 already? Or should I be saying 3? I think this is the next Batman number 3, right? Regardless, the next Batman has one coming out this week, and I'm excited to see, how that story plays out. To me, it's been good. It hasn't been bad by any means. Dark Detective is just, like, really solid, and so next Batman feels kind of like it's not quite as strong of a player. But I still want to see the story and find out how it plays out. And I've also really enjoyed all the, like, backup... Well, I wouldn't say all the backup stories, but there's been some great backup stories in the next Batman book. So I'm excited to read this issue and find out what's going on. Savage #1 will be out this week from Valiant Comics. And I haven't been totally keeping up with Valiant lately, to be honest. No reason why not, because they do some incredible things. But I saw Savage #1 is coming out. Savage is a cool character. I want to say it was in Fallen World. There was some really cool scenes with Savage. And I know that this is a character people really liked from a previous crossover event. Maybe Harbinger Wars #2 or something. So this is a character I've heard requested a lot. Like, people have wanted a series for a long time. Fans have been crazy about it. So I guess they finally given in. So since I've kind of been out of touch with Valiant lately, I saw a #1. I thought, hey, this is a great opportunity to get back in. So I'm going to check this one out. It should be cool. Should be interesting. Should be some great action in this, if nothing else. Batman Catwoman #3 is kind of a surprise for me, like how excited I am, because I've never read any Tom King stuff. I wasn't caught up in all the Batman stuff, so like this whole like getting the story that he wanted to tell thing, not interesting to me. I don't care, So I was uninterested. I picked up the first one because I thought it would have some great conversation around it, and it definitely delivered on that. But I read the second one and it hooked me in. Like, that second issue feels so much like, it looks almost like very realistic, The characters are kind of a lot more realistic, but there's so many elements of it that feel very inspired by the animated series. And it almost feels like the characters from the animated series. They brought in the Mask of the Phantasm, so there's... I don't know. This Bat-Cat stuff is really cool. We really don't know what's going on. Basically, Selina Kyle is there to take out the Joker, it looks like. But years down the road, as far as we know, Bruce Wayne is dead. And so she's kind of like giving these flashbacks and delivering all these little pieces to fill in their history and what has led up to this moment. So it's really cool stuff. I'm really enjoying it. I couldn't tell you a lot about what exactly the story is yet, but so far it's been really cool. And if you're a Tom King fan, check it out. If you've never read Tom King, check it out, because, like I said, I've never read any of his stuff, and this was not difficult for me to get into, and now I'm kind of a fan. So I'll definitely be reading more of what Tom King does. I know he has a lot of very well-regarded runs, so... The Expanse #3 I'll be picking up, and that is one I've talked about every time it comes up, but I always love to show off the cover and just kind of talk about it, because it's actually been probably 2 weeks since I've watched an episode of The Expanse, so I'll definitely need to be watching some more of that so I can get all caught up and everything. But also, once I get up to those seasons, I am excited to read these comics because I've enjoyed the show so far. It's been really good stuff. King in Black 4 is going to be out this week, and this has been a cool event. I mean, I feel like the first two issues were really impressive. The third one could have, I mean, it left a little bit to be desired. I think it could have been a little bit stronger than it was. But at the end of the day, King in Black as an event or storyline or whatever it is has been really good. So I'm excited to continue down that path. Power Rangers number 4 will be out this week. And this is cool. The Omega Rangers have been in space. They've been traveling. They've been on the run with Draken. They've run into some problems. And there's been a lot of like genre exploration that's been going on. So we kind of get to see different takes on the Power Rangers, but using the same characters, you know. So there was like this kind of like Lost in Space, aliens style horror issue, and then we've seen some heist issues, or we saw a heist issue, I guess. And then, you know, we've also seen like some action and adventure stuff in it. So I'm excited to see where Power Rangers continues to go. I really like that it's forging a new path, but it's using classic characters to kind of like go ahead and hold our interest. So I'm enjoying both Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers, but so far Power Rangers has definitely been my favorite of the two. The Last Ronin 2 will be out this week, and this has felt like forever, you know. I think The Last Ronin came out, October, November? Surely it wasn't December. So, I mean, technically it hasn't been all that long, but it's definitely felt like a very long time, you know. So I'm excited to get back to it and find out more about The Last Ronin and what's going on with the Turtle family. From what I hear, there's a lot of imagery of Raphael and Splinter, so it sounds like we're kind of going to get some more of their backstories and find out what happened to them and why Michelangelo is the only turtle left. We Live number 5. If you've been following me for very long, you know how I feel about this book. I talk about it all the time with Mark from Legion of Comics. This definitely is a book that has our attention. We refer to it as an experience because We Live is I don't know, it's very different from anything I've ever read. It has so many elements that could like fall perfectly into like an animated movie, animated series kind of style, but at the same time, like it's so dark and grim and bleak, and it makes it really interesting, and it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me interested, and there's just a lot about that book that I really like. That if you've heard me talk about We Live and you're not reading it at this point, like, what are you doing? Just all 5 issues have been top notch, and I'm really excited for the future of what We Live is or becomes or can do. Thor number 12, again, another series that I think in the past I've been kind of up and down on it. I'm still not into the 2 Hammer episode or issues, like, ugh. But yeah, I mean, I've loved Thor. They've brought in Donald Blake. They have he's like this crazy psycho, and he's out hunting all the Thors, and it's interesting. It's really cool. Like, the way that they play him is just like perfect. Crazy guy meets serial killer meets terror, you know. He's a surgeon, and he gets a scalpel, and he goes to work on people. So it's been really cool. I really like it. I like they have Thor. Thor got himself tricked, so he's like stuck in another place where he can't really do anything to help or solve the problem. So I'm excited to find out what he is going to do and what's going to happen with everything, and how they're going to, you know, make all of this work. And how does Thor get out of there? Like, and I think that's the thing. It feels like they're kind of teaching Thor a lesson so that he learns, like, just brute strength isn't the only thing you need. You also have to, you know, you got to be smart about your battle plan. And so I think that's kind of the lesson he's supposed to be learning here. Hopefully he is learning it. But I'm excited to see what happens when he gets out and goes to war with Donald Blake. So, I mean, I'm really excited to see what happens in the second round of Future State number 2s this week. I'm really into Batcat at this point, and, I shouldn't have to tell anyone how into We Live and Thor I am at this point, but I'm really enjoying a lot of these books on this list. So, what are you excited about this week? And one that I think people may or may not even notice, Haha number 2 is not on my list. So if somebody's sticking with Haha number 2, let me know why in the comments below. I read the first one. I thought it was okay. Like, it just didn't really grip me. It kind of felt like an obvious riff on Joker, the movie. And so, yeah, I just don't think I'm going to stick around. I might read it in trade if it turns out really well and a lot of people talk about it. I could see picking up the full 6-issue run in a trade and having it like that. But single issues, I'm dropping Haha, but I want to know why everybody else is holding on to it. And, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, connect. And, if you see me on a platform, look for my name, New Guy, Nuexguy, and look for my cosmic picture and click the button next to it and make a connection. So, until next time, keep flipping pages.